advantages. Okay, and then so this was some objective. So these are the familiarizations with the software and these things. Then this is the general interface of the Matlab software, and these are some basic arithmetic operations: addition, subtractions, multiplication, division, and all. And these are the symbol you have to use if you want to do this kind of operations in Matlab. And this is when you want to use Matlab as a calculator. This is very simple and easy. And after that, there are some important notes. You can see, you know that if you have some mistakes in your code, Matlab will give you the error messages and the corrections. And also, if you don't want the output to see, to display on the command window, you can make a semicolon over the lines once the line is finished. If you want to avoid some computation which is going for a long time and you want to change something, you have to use Control C. If you want to continue a line, then you should put 3 dots at the end of that line, and then you can come to the second line. Comments, if you want to use the if you want to write some comments in the code which you think that Matlab should not read that lines, then you just add a percentage symbol in the beginning of the line that will comment the lines. And then we had some operation hierarchy. So this is my operation hierarchy. Basically, Matlab also follows the Botmarsh rule. B for brackets, O for orders, D for division, M for multiplications, A for addition, and S for subtraction. So this is the order Matlab follows for the any kind of calculations. And then I have shown you some basic Matlab calculations. So suppose you want to calculate this 1 by 2 plus 3 square plus 4 by 5 into 6 by 7, how to write it in Matlab. You have to use the proper use of brackets. You also have to use. So those things we have discussed last day. And then we had some exercise. And then you know there are several formats are available to represent your answer. So if you use the format sort, that means that Matlab will give you only 4 digits after the decimal. If you use the format long, then it can give 15 digits after the decimals. And also you can see there are a lot of formats also. Next I have talked about the format bank. Format bank, if you use, then it will give you only 2 digits after the decimal. And if you use the format rat for the rationalized, so this is when you want to get the rational numbers. In that case, you can use the format rat. So this was the format. And then you know, if you want to know what are the variables already have been used previously, then you can type WHO in the command window. That will simply show you what are the variables are used. WHOS, whose if you type in the command window, that will give you not only the variables and what are the sizes of the variables, that's also you can see. And clear, if you want to remove any variable from the workspace, simply you can write clear and that variable's name that will be removed from the workspace. Clear all stands for if you want to remove all the variables from the workspace. And CSC, this command clear the command window. And then we had some elementary functions, how to use that elementary functions in your code. So if you want to use cosine, sine, simply you have to write cos x, sine x like that, logarithm, exponential, square root, you know how to write the square root. Simply you have to use the ST bar. These things we have discussed last day. And then we had that pi. Pi, if you want to use the pi, simply you have to write pi in the Matlab, that will take the value pi. And I and j stands for the complex imaginary number, root over of -1. I N F stands for the infinity in Matlab, and NaN, if you get any times that numbers, if you are displaying as a output, then you should know this is not a number. Usually it becomes when you have some 1 by 0 kind of things, Matlab shows NaN. Okay, then these things also we have discussed. And then this was my last slide, which I was discussing last day. So this was the function handle in Matlab. So basically, if you want to write a function which is two variable functions, function of x comma y, which is equal to x square minus y square, in Matlab you have to be written a is equal to @xy. Because if you do not write in that way, then Matlab will not treat x and y as a variable. In that case, the further calculations using f might be problematic. So either you have to be write in that way @x comma y. If it is a two variable functions, if it is a one variable function, simply you write @x and then whatever the expression for functions. If it is three variable functions, you just write @x comma y comma z for the three variable functions. If you don't want to write in that form, then simply first you have to write that line. What are the variables you want to use? Suppose SYMS stands for the symbolic notations. So first of all, you have to give the input to the Matlab that now from now I will use x and y as a variable, not as a constant. So if you write SYMS and then x and y, then Matlab will treat x and y as variable. Then simply you can write r is equal to square root of x square plus y square. So in that case, you don't have to write this @xy. So there are two types of expressions you can write in Matlab for the functions. And this, in that case, if you write in that way, then if you want to get the value of r for some x equal to 1 and y equal to 2, this is not possible in this case. That is only possible if you have the functions in that form. So if you want to evaluate the function in some point, then obviously you need this kind of expressions. And this is possible from, if you write r in that form, then you can transfer that form to the another form, that is this form, by simply write a is equal to Matlab functions of r. So this much thing we have discussed yesterday, and today start with the how to get the derivatives and how to get the integrations of a functions. So derivatives, you know, there are two type of derivatives. Either it is, if it is a only function of only one variable, then there will be ordinary differential equations, and then if you are having function of two variable, in that case it might have the partial differential equations or partial derivatives. So let me go to the next slide. So you can see here, we'll talk here about the differentiation of a functions. What I have done, first of all, I have written the sim s. So I want to write a functions which is only having one variable x. For that, I have taken SYMS. So this gives you that Matlab now treat x as a symbolic variable, that is variable. And g is my functions, that is equal to exponential x into cos x. So this is my functions, and simply if you write down diff, this diff first bracket g, that will give you the derivative of g with respect to x. Let us see that one. So I am copying these things. I'm going to Matlab. So I want to write a function that is SYMS x. So this part is okay. This is, now you can see x is a variable. You can see in my workspace here they have taken x as a symbolic variable. What is the class now? It is a symbolic. It's not a constant or digit. Okay, sims x. Then what is my function? G equal to EXPX. This stands for the exponential x, e to the power x, exponential x into product of cos x. I want to write cos x, that is cos x. So this is my g. I want to use semicolon because I don't want to display this g correct right now. So this I am now putting enter. So now what are the things I have done? Since x, that is now x is a variable, and g is equal to exponential x into cos x. That is my functions. You can see here, if I want to get the value g of 1, it is not possible here, because simply they are giving exponential x cos x. They are not giving the value at x equal to 1, because as I told, it is not possible to get the value if you have written g or any function in this form. How to get the form? F is equal to Matlab function, and then if you write g, that will give you another function f. What is f now? You can see f is the now with @ x. Here, if you want to get the value f of 1, that is possible. So that is the difference between two type of function representations. Now, what is our aim? Our aim is to get the derivatives of the function g. For that, simply you have to write diff, first bracket start, and within that you just write g. There is no confusion because I have g, which is a function of only one variables. So that's why I don't have to write any other things. Only diff, that is stands for the differentiate of g. And if you now enter, you can see the answer. Simply you will get, what was my gx? Gx was this one, exponential x into cos x. So I had g expression, this was the expression for g, and simply you are getting derivative of g with respect to x, that is exponential x into cos x minus exponential x into sin x. So this is the product rule they are applying. Simply they are getting the derivative of g. So this is the way. Suppose I want to write h is equal to square root of x. This is my another functions, h equal to square root of x, and then semicolon, and then I want to write this dip h. This dip h now should give the derivative of the function hx. Let us see, you can see 1 by 2, and in the denominator it has x to the power half. So 1 by 2 square root x. So this is the derivative of h. So this is very much helpful when you are having a very complicated functions, and if you want to get the derivative of that functions. In that kind, you can simply use that thing. If you suppose you want to get the derivative of 2 times derivative. So for that, what I have, I will do dip of g. This is actually do the derivative of for the first time, and then again I want to do the another derivative, that is second order derivative. So now you can see I have y is equal to dip of g. This will do the 2 times derivative here, minus 2 into exponential x into sin x. This is the 2 times derivative with respect to x of the function gx. So this was about the when you are having only one variable. Now let us do 2 variable functions. So let me use all. I want to remove. How to remove these things? Clear all. Clear all will remove my workspace. You can see now, before entering, I can see in my workspace, many things are there. I want to remove all these things from the workspace. For the simply clear all, that will remove my workspace. And then also I want to remove all the things from my command window. So for that, I want to write CLC. This will remove all the things from my command window. Again, I want to write a function a is equal to x comma y, and then sin x and then sin y. This is not correct because product I should use the start there. So a is equal to x comma y sin x plus sin y. So this is a product of 2 functions, and this is sin x into sin y. Okay, now as you see here, I have a function which is having 2 variables. So I will give you the partial derivatives here. So this I am putting a semicolon. So that is my a. Okay, now I want to get the derivative with respect to diff, that is the a. So this was the comment when we had the function with 1 variable. But now I have the function with 2 variables. So I have to mention that which with respect to which variable I want the derivative. So diff stands for the derivative, and then first bracket f inside I have to use comma x. So this means derivative with respect to x. You can see if I make a. Okay, I did not mention the variable x. So for that, since x that I have to introduce, and together I am introducing y also. Otherwise, they will treat x and y as a constant. So symbol now I have mentioned. So now you can see if I make df comma x, you can see the answer, that is the cos x into sin y, because derivative of sin x simply is cos x. And similarly, if you want to do the derivatives partially with respect to y, that will give you cos y into sin x. Cos y into sin x. So this is the way you can do the derivatives for any kind of functions. Okay, and now let me go. This is the derivative slide. Okay, now let me go to the, this is the partial derivative slides. So I will share this slide to you, everyone, so that you can practice these things also. And then I want to know the what will be the integration, how to do the integration in Matlab. So you know there are two type of integrations. One is indefinite integral, and another one is the definite integral. Indefinite integral means when you don't have the limit of the integrations. In that case, your solution will be a variable constant, variable functions, and then plus a constant, additive constants. And definite integral means when you want to do the integrations with a specific limit. So first one, you can see this is the example of an indefinite integral. So I want to copy these functions from here and sorry. This on my method. So I want to paste it here. Already I have symbolized x and y, so I don't worry about that. So f is now my f has been changed. F is this. What is the integrations comment? int start the first bracket. Simply write down f. This is my f now. And now you can just do the integrations. What is the integrations of this? Minus 2x by 1 plus x square whole square dx. You will get the integrations value that is equal to 1 by x square plus 1. This is the integrations of the functions f. What is f? This is my f. Okay, now this is the indefinite integral because I have not mentioned the value, but for the same things, if you want to get the definite integral, just inside of the integration comment, you just write a comma 0 comma 1. So first one stands for the lower limit and 1 stands for the upper limit. So let us see what is the result for that. So if you do that, you will get the answer minus 1 by 2. So this is the definite integral. So if you want to do the definite integral, you should put the limit here. First one is the lower limit and the second one is the upper limit. If you don't want to do the integration with limit, simply you can put integration of a. So this is the integrations. In various research, you will see that you need the integrations of any complicated functions, which is not possible to do by hand calculations. In that case, you can take the help from the Matlab, how to do the derivatives and how to do the integrations for a complicated functions. Okay, then this part is now done. So do you have any questions? These are some exercises I have taken here that you can practice when I will share this slide to you. Okay, and now tell me if you have any doubt from this first part, integrations and definitions. Otherwise, I will go further for the new things. I can accept any questions if you have any doubt or any questions till now.
So will you please explain the last example of differentiation?
Which one? Which one?
Last example of differentiation.
Last equations of the?
Last example of the differentiation.
Differentiations. From the slide or from the Matlab? Because here okay, Matlab. Okay. So maybe this one you are talking about?
Yes, sir. This one.
Yeah. So this one you can see I have a functions of two variable x and y. Okay. So I want to when I have a function of two variables. If I want to get the derivatives, obviously I have to tell the Matlab also that what with respect to which variable, whether you want to do the partial derivative of with respect to x or y, that you have to mention. So for that, we are mentioning that okay, here I have taken deep f comma x, but due to the problem I have not mentioned symbolic x and y. Otherwise, Matlab will not treat x and y as a variables, so they have given a error messages. After that, when I have mentioned symbolic x comma y, symbolic x and y, you can see then I am mentioning deep diff, that means derivative of f with respect to x. Answer is cos x into sin y. So sin x, if you do the derivative of sin x, you will get cos x, and cos y it is a function of sin y, it is a function of y. Simply it is a constant. They are not touching this sin y part because I am doing the derivative with respect to x. Similarly, for with respect to y, you are getting cos y, but they are not touching the sin x because this is the rule of partial differential equations. Do you have any extra questions? It is clear? Okay. Okay, then should I go further? Okay, so let us start the main things of the MATLAB. That is the row vector, column vector, matrix, because this is the main thing for which MATLAB was introduced in the first. So let us be familiar with this row vector, column vector, matrix. What are the properties we have in the MATLAB? How to deal with this kind of things. So row vector, you know, row vector nothing but a 1 cross n matrix. That means one row and this n number of columns. This is just simply a row vector definitions. If you want to use the matrix definition for the row vector, and if you want to write a row vector, simply you have to use the square brackets. The square brackets has the use for to write the row vectors for the MATLAB. And first bracket is for the some mathematical operations, and third bracket, that is the square brackets. This is you have to use for the row vectors. And row vectors, whatever the element you want to write, that either you can separate them by using a space or comma. Both the examples are given here. The first example you see, if you write that one in the MATLAB, simply MATLAB will construct a row vector R1, which has the name R1, is equal to, so this name R1 it is your choice. You can use anything, R1 or double R1 or capital R1. This is completely your choice. So if you use this, I can start with square bracket, and here also square bracket I am ending. But these are my elements of this row, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But you can see all the elements are given with a space. So this will create a row vector if you want to write the vector as a space. Similarly, you can write the row vector in the second example. You can see I have written another row vectors, but here with commas. This one of spaces. So here my elements of the row vector is 10, 20, 30, and 40, but I am using the comma. Both are this is your choice which one you want to write. Whether you want to write row vector with space or you want to write row vector with this comma. So this is both are same. And sometimes you can introduce the row vector in that way also. R3 is equal to 1 to 5. When you know that all the step lengths will be same length, if it is equal to 1, in that case you can just simply write down R3 is equal to 1 colon 5. Any questions? Okay, so simply I can take R3 is equal to 1 is to 5 or 1 colon 5. That will give you the another row vector ending at 5, and that will give you the equal length, that is 1. And if you want to mention the step size, you can see here I have used only 1 to 5. That is the starting with 1, ending at 5. But here it is starting at 0, ending at 10. But I have specified the step length or step size. What will be my step size? Here you can see first element is 0 because starting from 0. But second element here it will be 2. And third element will be 4. Fourth element will be 6 because it is increasing by 2 in each element. But if you do not mention the step size, it will take the default step size which is equal to 1. Okay, so let us see these things in the MATLAB. So let me clear the MATLAB window. So you can see I want to write R1 is equal to, as a vector, row vector, I am using the square. So this is 1 is my first element, 2 is my second element, 3 is my third element, fourth element. So I just want to keep these four elements in my row, and all the elements are separated by space. So if you make the enter, you can see MATLAB has constructed a row vector R1 which is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4. Similarly, if I want to write R2, which is another, this is the square. Now I want to use the comma, 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma. So I am not using space, 2 comma 3 comma 4. So simply if I make enter, you can see both the results are same. So for the constructing a row vector, either you can use the space or you can use the comma. And also you can see R3 I am constructing like 1 to 10. So it will start from 1 and it will end at 10. So simply this will give you the row vector which will start from 1 and ending at 10. If you make enter, you can see I have another row vector which is starting from 1 and ending at 10. But here the step length is the default step length, that is equal to 1. In a similar expressions, if I make here, that is 0.1 is my step length now. So it will start from 1 and it will increase by 0.1 and it will end at 10. So you can see I can get a huge row vector. You see I have up to 91 number of elements. So it's starting from 1, then the second element is 1.10. As I have mentioned, my step length should be 0.1. And then 1.20, 1.3, 1.4 like that up to this. When it is reaching at 10, it is getting stopped. Okay, so in that way you can construct the row vectors. Okay. Then similarly, you can construct the column vector also. For column vector, first of all, you know column vector means m rows, one column. There will be only one column, plus rows will be many. So in that case, simply you can make the column vectors. So for that, first of all, you have to construct a row, and then just simply you have to use this dash. That will construct the column. Otherwise, you have to use the semicolon. Semicolon stands for changing the row. So this means first row containing only one element 1. Then there is semicolon. That semicolon after that you are making the 2. Then again 3. So for column you can write this by using a semicolon, or simply you just write down the row vector, then take the transpose. Transpose has a symbol, this dash. That will give you the column vectors. So simply if you want to get it, I want to clear the command window, that is CLC. Now I want to clear all my variables. So now it's R1. So R1 is equal to, suppose I want to write 1, 2, 3. This will give me one row vector, right? And if I want to make R2 is equal to R1 dash, okay, that will give you, see, there is a column vector. R2 is a column vector by using the dash. And similarly, if I make R3, that is equal to third bracket, same, but I want to use a semicolon. 1 and then 2 separated by semicolon and then 3. So it will give you same vectors. So these are the representations of the column vectors. So this is your choice which one you want to follow. Whether you want to write the column vector as a semicolon, or you want to write the row vector first and then take the transpose of the row vectors. So both the way you will get the same answer for the representations of the column vectors. Okay. Now the main things, that is the in similar things here also you can follow, that using the colon, that will start from 0 and ending at 10, and it will go from up to increase by each step length by 2. Okay, then once you know what is row vector and column vector, then the main thing, that is a matrix comes. How to write matrix in Matlab? So here you can see it is very simple to write matrix in Matlab. Simply if you want to write a row, you know how to write a row. That is the first row. Suppose it is a 2 cross 3, I want to write a 2 cross 3 matrix. That means 2 rows, 3 columns. So 2 rows, when you are writing, you can see I have not used anything. Only simply 1 and then space 2, then space 3. As you know, either I can use this format or I can take the comma format for the row. Whenever one row is completed, if you want to go to a second row, simply you change the row by the column, semicolon. If you use the semicolon, that will go to the next row. And my next row is 4, 5, 6. Similarly, here it is a 3 cross 3 matrix. You can see these are my first row. Then it is written by comma. You can use a space also without comma. Then here is a semicolon. Then 2, 3, 4 is the second row. and then again semicolon, and then 5, 6, 7 is the third. So let us see. So I want to write a matrix A, which is 2 cross 2 maybe. So I will start from the bracket, square bracket, and then 1, 2, 3. This is my first row. I want to use the space, and then semicolon. My second row is 4, 5, 6. So now if I make enter, you can see this is my matrix A, which is equal to 1, 2, 3 is the first row element, 4, 5, 6 the second row. The same things you will get also if you use the comma here, 1, 2, 3, semicolon 4, 5, 6. You will get the same expressions. Okay. Now if you want to write a matrix, another matrix B, which is equal to 1, 2, 3, semicolon 4, 5. Okay. Then comma 6, semicolon 7, 8, 9. So this will give simply another 3 cross 3 matrix whose first row is 1, 2, 3, second row is 4, 5, 6, third row is 7, 8, 9. In that way, you can manually enter the matrix. But suppose your matrix is very big, then you suppose your matrix has been given in an Excel file or another file, simply you can import that. You have some options here, import data, you can see here at the above, that options you can use here to get that matrix. Automatically it will be entered in the Matlab comment in the workspace. This is the matrix, how to write the matrix. Okay. Now there are some special kind of matrix. Suppose you want to write a zero matrix, 3 cross 3 zero matrix. Zero matrix means all the element of the matrix will be 0. In that case, simply you write zeros of 3. So this A, B, Z, I, these are user defined. Okay, this is your choice which variable you want to use. But right hand side, this has a particular form. 0, 3 means it will give you a zero matrix of 3 cross 3. Similarly, I4 stands for the identity matrix. It will give you a 4 cross 4 identity matrix. Identity matrix means the diagonals or leading diagonals are the 1 and the off diagonal elements will be 0. So this will random 2 cross 2 matrix. If you write rand, R-A-N-D, rand of 2. So this 2, if you change 3, that will give you 3. Let us see that one. So suppose rand 3, 3, or only 3 will be sufficient, I think. Yeah. So this will give you a 3 cross 3 matrix. Arbitrarily they have taken some element. If you write rand 3, it will change it. It will take some another arbitrary points. So this is a random matrix. Okay. Suppose you want to take identity matrix EYE first bracket 4. It will give you 4 cross 4 identity matrix. So these are already inbuilt in the software. Simply you just take that matrix. No need to input this matrix. All the leading elements are 1 and of the off diagonal elements are 0. Similarly, as I told, zeros, that is suppose 2, you can see it is giving you a 2 cross 2 matrix where all the elements are zeros. So these are already inbuilt functions of the Matlab you can use if you need it in your research or in your teaching. Okay, and then there are some special kind of matrices, and now I'll go for the corrections matrix. What is the correction in matrix? Suppose you have introduced a matrix that is, suppose, let me recall B. What is my B? B was this matrix 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And it is a 3 cross 3 matrix. If you want to change, suppose after inputting this matrix, you can see this element 5, which was B 2, 2 element, right? This element is mistakenly written. It should be something else. Suppose it should be 10 in place of 5. So it is a small matrix. Manually again you can enter. That will be not a big task. But suppose you have a very big matrix. Okay. In that case, you want to change some element or you want to correct some element. In that case, how to do that? So in that case, simply you write B, which element you want to change? 2, 2, right? 2, 2, that will give you that element. What was my element? 5. What will be my new element? Suppose I want to make the new element 10. Okay, so now simply if I make it equal to, you can see my previous matrix was this was. I have now replaced 2, 2 element by 10. So this is my now new element, that is the B 2, 2, that is a 10. Okay, in that way, if you have any mistakenly input in your matrix, that you can change in the simply in that way. Suppose I want to change the another element, that is b1 comma. Now again I want to make the corrections b22. I want to make it 5. So simply it will give you. Now you can see I come back to my previous matrix in a similar way I have changed. So this is the corrections of matrix if you need anything. Okay, next. Okay, one more thing, it is very important, the last line, zero or negative subscripts are not supported in Matlab. So if you can see here, I have written capital B 2 comma 2 or 2 comma 3. What is that B 2 comma 3? Simply 2 3 means second row, third column. Second row and third column. What is that element? This one element. So simply it is giving the answer 6. But if you write B 0 comma 0 or 0 comma 1, it will be giving you some errors, because 0 is that script is not supported in Matlab. Suppose you want to write b minus 1 comma minus 2, which is also wrong. So these things are not allowed in 0, and minus 1 is not allowed in Matlab. You have to start with positive, that is 1 2 3 or vice versa. I want to clear my comment window. Now what is my next topic? That is by using the linspace. This is another way to write the row vectors. Simply if you use this, y is equal to linspace, linspace. This is linspace comment and a comma b. Let us see what is its comments. So I want to write y is equal to linspace first bracket 1 colon 10. What was that, colon or comma? Let me check. It was comma. So 1 comma 10. Just make enter. You see what I have done. It is starting from 1 and ending at 10. But how many rows? It is taking 100 elements. So if you do not mention the step length, this linspace comment also will make another row vector which will start from 1 ending at 10, but always it will be having 100 elements. But if you want to control the elements numbers, in that case you have to use this comment. Linspace a comma b comma n. N is the number of points you want to get. So here simply same comment. If I want to make 1 comma 10, 1 comma 10 comma 10. That means it will start from 1 ending at 10, but it will have 10 elements. You can see here. Now I have a row vector which is starting at end, ending at 10 and having 10 number of points. So this is the another way of using the or constructing the row vector by using that comment linspace. If you do not use the step length, simply the default size is it will take 100. Okay, but otherwise you can construct this in. Okay, so this is another way to constructing the row vector. Okay, now come to the another things, that how to with a matrix. Suppose you want to get some rows of a matrix, particular matrix. Suppose you want to get some particular column of a matrix, or this is how to get. Let us discuss this thing. So let me clear this CLC, and then let me call my B. What was my B matrix? B matrix was I have given the input. First row is 1 2 3, second row is 4 5 6, third row is 7 8 9. Now this capital B, suppose I want to write the second row only. I want to see what is the second row. So in that case, I want to write 2, that is comma colon. So this stands for, if I make enter now, simply this will give you the second row of the matrix B only. Simply if I make enter, you can see this is displaying the answer. What is the answer? That is the second row, 4 5 6, because I have given this 2. So 2, I have used it in the first positions, that indicates the row number, and third one I have not introduced anything, because if you write B 2 comma 3, if I mention both first and second, that will give you 6, that is the B23 element. But if you do not mention the second one column number, in place of that if you simply make colon, that will give you the entire row, second row. In a similar way, you can try the B1, that will give you the first row, And vice versa, if you want to get the column, in that case you have to put the colon in the first one row place, and the second place, if I make 2, that should give you the second column. You see what is my second column now? 2, 5, 8. Let us go back to the B. You say 2, 5, 8. This was my second column. Simply how to get that? So if you have a very big matrix and if you want to check a particular row or column, that also you can do in that way. Or suppose you want to replace that column. Suppose I have this 2 column, second column of the matrix B, that I want to replace by another column vector, that is now by 0, 0, 0, and then is a column. So this is right side is a column vector. Now you can see why column vector, because 0, 0, 0 will give you a row vector, and this dash will make it a column vector. So what I am doing here, I am changing correcting my second column, is replacing it now by another column, that is 0, 0, 0. Now let us make it enter. You can see the second column of B has been now changed, and it is a 0, 0, 0 column is now. So in that way, another way of getting the matrix, that is the B first bracket. Suppose you want to get first and second row and second and third column. So 1:2, 1 column 2 and 2 column 3. What will give you now? This is in the row space, man. That means the first row to second row it will give you, and second column to third column. So ideally you should get first row, second row, and second column, third column. What is the common? 0, 3, 0, 6. You should get. Let us see. You see 0, 3, 0, 6 we are getting. So B1 column 2, that means it is a row in the space of row. So first row to second row and second column to third column. What is the common? 0, 3, 0, 6 is a common element. So they are giving a sub matrix which is 0, 3, 0, 6. In that way, you can get the sub matrix from a matrix. So this is very much helpful when you are having a very big matrix, a very large matrix, and you want to do something operations with the matrix. In that case, suppose you need some particular row, some particular column, or some particular sub matrix you need. In that case, you can use this kind of comment. Okay. Now this will give you simply a null vector. Suppose you want to write A2. What is the meaning of that? The entire second column, because the 2 is mentioned in the second place, and this is a colon. That means the entire 2 column will be null vector. Suppose in that case, what is the answer this is giving? You can see 1, 4, 7. That is the first row, and third column and first column they are keeping what was in the previously A, but they are eliminating the second column because this stands for the null vector. Okay. If you want to get the size of the matrix, that means what is the order of the matrix, simply they will give you that. And also I can show you here. Suppose I have the matrix. What is the matrix here? This is 3 cross 3 matrix. If I want to get the size of the matrix, that is size of capital B, and then make enter, it will give you the answer 3, 3, 3, 3. The first one stands for the row, and the second one stands for the column. What was my A matrix? A matrix was 2 rows, 3 columns. So here, if I want to know the size of capital A matrix, it will give you 2, 3. The first one, 2 stands for row, 3 stands for the column. Okay. This also you can get the size from here. Also, you can see in the matrix in the workspace, A and B has installed as a matrix, and you can size is also mentioned here, 2 cross 3 and 3 cross 3. Okay. So if your workspace is little not that much big, simply you can see have a look on the workspace and you can check the size of the matrix A and B. Otherwise, you can also check the matrix size by this comment size of A or size of B. Okay. Okay. So these are the some elementary matrices which are already predefined in the Matlab, and that you can use. I have talked about this EYE. This stands for the identity matrix. If you only write n, that will give you n cross n square, and if you write m comma n, so that will give you another identity matrix of main diagonal will be 1. Let us see what is that. EYE only 3. That will give you I will be element of 3 cross 3. But same matrix, if you write 3 comma 4, that means 3 rows, 4 columns. What they are taking, the principal diagonal they are making 1, but all the off diagonals are 0, because Matlab also takes the rectangular identity matrix, though it doesn't have that much value in our mathematics. Okay, so now let us go. Zeros already I have discussed. What is this matrix? Ones m comma n, that give you returns with a m cross n matrix of ones. Let us see this one. So ones 2 comma 3. You see, I have a matrix of 2 rows, 3 columns. All the elements are 1. Okay. Now let me write down the. I recall the B matrix again. So this is my B matrix. If I want to get the diagonal entry of the B matrix only, so DIAG, that stands for the matrix diagonal of B I want to get. So DIAG and first bracket B, that simply will give you the diagonal entry of the matrix B. What is my diagonal entry here? 1, 0 and 9. So these 3 elements you can see here. So this is diagonal of a matrix B if you want to get. Then rand m comma n, that also we have discussed. This will give you a randomized matrix, random numbers with a matrix with random numbers of m cross n. This is the order. Okay, now let us go for the matrix arithmetic operations. As you know, the A plus B or A minus B or A star B, these matrix operations are only defined when you have some matching with the orders. That means A plus B, additions of a matrix or subtraction of a matrix is only valid when both are having same size. And the product is well defined when the number of columns of A will be equal to the numbers of rows of B. So simply, what is the comment for that? Simply you guys write A plus B and B plus A and A star B. A square. These are similar type of things for the which you know for the digit. So let me write down 2 matrix. A is equal to I have a matrix A that I will want to modify again. What is my A? Somewhere I have written. So this is my A. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I want to add another column, that is the 1, 1, 1. What is that? You can see this is my A. And what is my B? This. I have 2 matrices of same size. So now I can use A plus capital B. What will be my matrix? You can see simply the 2 matrices are added. First element was of A was 1. First element of B is 1. So A plus B first element would be 2. Similarly, 2 plus 0, it is 2. In that way, A plus B is defined. Similarly, A minus B, subtraction of 2 matrices, that is also done. And you can do A star capital B, that also multiply the matrix A into B. You know the matrix multiplications, rows and then column. In that way, there is a summation. So that's why. But here is the main point is that suppose I have, let me recall all this. I want to clear CLC. I want to recall what is A, what is B, okay, and what is A star, what is into B. The product of 2 matrix A I have, B I have. Simply you take the A star B, that is the matrix multiplications. But in the same way, if I make a dot here, this dot A dot star B, this is called the row multiplications, row or array multiplications. Array multiplications means simply each element of first element will be multiplied with the first element of the second matrix. Second element into the second element. Let us see whether you are getting the answer. You see, A star B and A dot star B are defined. The answer you see here, this is the A into B and it is A dot star into B. So here, why is the answer changed? Because A star B, this is the usual matrix multiplications which we do in the mathematics. But A dot star B, simply it is a multiplications of. Now let me write down A and B. It will be better to see. You see, I have A first element 1. What is my second element of first element of B? 1. So 1 into 1, simply 1. What is the second? This one element 4. And this is the element 4. Simply multiply, that will be 16. So if you want, the element-wise multiplications, simply you should write A dot star B. Okay, if you do not write this dot, then it will give you the actual matrix multiplications. So this is called array multiplications. Let me give you that one. So this is, if you do not use the dot, simply it will give you the multiplication, subtractions or additions. And here I have B here. Use the dot product, that's A dot star B. It is getting 10. Why 10? Because 1 into 20, that will give you 40. 3 into 30, that will give you 90. So this is multiplication here formula. Okay, no summations here. So this is the use of the array arithmetic operations. This array arithmetic operation is also needed when you are having this two vectors u dot star v. You will see element wise u1 into v1. Two row vector I have. First will be u1 v1, u2 v2. This is for the product. This is for the divisions. This is for the power. Similar kind of thing. If you use the dot, then you will get the element wise multiplications or subtractions or power. Okay. Okay, so these are some matrix functions which are already available in Matlab. Simply you can use that to get the value of that. Diagonal, already I have shown you that how to get the diagonal of a matrix DIAG. That comment stands for the diagonal entries. Date stands for the determinant. Let us see, suppose I have the matrix B and I want to get the determinant of B, that is DET and first bracket B. Simply you will get the 0. Why 0? Because in the, you can see B matrix has a 0 column. Second column is completely 0 column. So that's why, you know, if you are determined having a 0 column or 0 row, simply the answer is 0. And similarly, if you want to get determinant of A, then that will give you also 0. What is my A? A 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Here 1, 1, 1. Somehow you have to use the expansions. That also will give you the answer 0. Similarly, if you want to get the eigenvalue, that will give you eigenvalue of A. What is EIG? That stands for the eigenvalue. Eigenvalue of A. So you can see this is also justified. Determinant of A is 0. And what is the relations between eigenvalues and determinants? Its determinant of A is equal to product of the eigenvalues. And you can see I have a 0 eigenvalue here. So 0 eigenvalue, that is gives you the determinant also a 0. So eigenvalue, if you want to get any eigenvalue of a matrix, simply you have to write Eij of that matrix, which you have already stored in the Matlab. And you have to know what is the variable name you have used for defining that matrix. So that is A or B, because I have now two matrices, so I want to get the another matrix, eigenvalue of another matrix, eigenvalue of B. Here also you can see the one eigenvalue is 0, another eigenvalue is minus 1.0828, 11.0828. So all the after the digit you can see they are giving the answer with 4 decimal points, because this is the default format of the Matlab format sort. You can change the format also. Okay, so in that way you can get the inverse, INV, norm, NORM, rank of the matrix, RANK. So these are the sort. You know that if the determinant is equal to 0, rank can't be 3. So let us check the rank of the matrix. At least it should be less or equal to 2. So the rank of A, it is 2. It can't be 3 because already I know one eigenvalue is 0 or determinant is equal to 0, right? So in that way you can justify the rank, determinant, eigenvalue, norm, anything you can get. These are already available in Matlab. So simply you just these are a very short list. There are many predefined functions are available for Matlab. Okay, now I'll go to the scripts and function files. Before that, if you have any questions from the matrix part, I will take that questions. Otherwise, I will go further for the script and the functions. Any questions from the matrix part? Or if you have any doubt? Should I proceed? So see, I have now I am going to introduce a script M file. So in your Matlab, you see. So let me clear my command window. CLC will clear my command window. So here you can see new script, or here is option new. If you make that option here new, you can see script and function. There are many options actually, but mainly I will talk about the script and functions. So what is script and what is functions? So if you make new script, simply you will get this kind of window. Here untitled one things will come in the header. So that I have not said, that's why it's untitled. You can rename it. When you will say, you can rename it. So what is the use of script? Basically, that I have mentioned here, when you are having a several number of commands. Suppose you are write a code, you know one code is not possible to write with a one line, right? At least you will having more than one line or more than two lines. So when you are having a bunch of comments, 3 lines, 4 lines, or 5 lines, in that case you can use that kind of script. So I have some example like here. What is that? Suppose this one I can write the plot of sin x graph. So here some number of comments I have, and that I am simply putting here. What is that? So these numbers are coming, that I will remove, and then I will discuss. So plotting I think is discussed in the last day by Dr. Pramani. So here what is doing here? X equal to 0 colon 0.1 and then colon 2 star pi. What is this? Already you know this will give you a row vector, right? So this will start with 0 and step will goes up to 2 pi and but increase to it 0.1. This is the typical structure of the row vector that you already know. And what is the y equal to sin x? This is a functions. Y is equal to sin x. So x value will be taken from here. For each x, it will compute the y. And then simply it will plot x and y. X is the x-axis, y is the y-axis. And title, that will make y equal to sin x. So I have, you can see here, I have 4 lines of comments. Previously, whatever I have done in the comment window, those things was separate comment. Only one line comment, and then I have entered and I have seen the results. But here, so here I have 4 lines of comments. Now if I here I can't make enter. If I make enter, I will go to the next line. If you want to run this code, you have to make this run button on the above. You can see here that run button, if you click, first of all you have to save it. So if you want to run, simply first of all you have to save it. So let me give you one name here. Suppose this is my test functions and extension is .m. So if I giving a name test, so now it is already started to run, and you can see they are giving me the plots. That is the plot of y equal to sin x from 0 to 2 pi. What is the 2 pi value? Equal to 3.14. So 2 pi will be 6.28, almost somehow here. This is the last point, 6.28, right? So this is y equal to sin x. So if I want to draw the graph of y equal to sin x, I need this 4 line of okay, but script file will not. This will be saved workspace. It will save. So this connection, it has a connection with the workspace. Whatever the value you use here, automatically it will be saved in the workspace. But as I told you, that function one, this new this function one. If you open that functions, it has a separate workspace. Whatever you will do in the function format, that will not use your workspace, the basic workspace. But if you do the script things, this is a script file, whatever it will be done, that will be associated with the workspace. So script file is useful when you are having more than one number of comments. Similarly, let me show you another example, that is example 2. Simply, if I want to get the area of a circle, what is the formula for area of a circle? Area of a circle is pi r square, right? So r is 5 is radius. Already I have given the first line. Second line, r area is equal to pi into r square. So that will calculate the area. And the third one is a display comment. I will discuss about this. I have one slide for that. For time being, just you believe me, that is the comment of display. Okay, I will discuss how to write these things. This will display your results. So now if I make a run, you see the area is 78.5398. That is for r equal to 5. Now if you change r equal to 10, it will change the results. Again, I can see here the new area is 3141593. Okay, as I told you that this place, this is called current directory where the functions are available, or these files are available. This is called the script functions, script or function writing spaces. This is my now command window, and this is workspace. So this place you can drag somewhere to change the place. Okay, so it is user defined. You can change its place according to your needs. Okay, so this is about the script file. Okay, then go to the another one, that is the function m files. So functions m files have a specific structure. You can see in the example, it will always start with the functions writing and it will end with end. And whatever you will write, this is your choice. But always it will start with function and end with end. Let us go to the Matlab. Suppose I want to open a functions. So now you see already Matlab has given me a general format of the functions. So as I told you, these things I will discuss now. But before that, let me erase this part. This is the general format of the functions. It will be always there. Okay. So functions, these files will have some input and will have some output. Let me go to the slide. So you can see here y. Whatever will be, that will be equal to sign. What will be there before equal to sign, that will be called as output. This bracket, that is called input. So simply this function will give you, whatever the function will give you, they will make it the square root of that number. So squaring that number. So y equal to x square. Let us take that function's example. What is that example? So this is output. Square number is the file name. You have to be save always the functions with that name only. The name you want to give for the file, that is completely your choice. But for the functions, if I want to go for a save, just let us save these files. You see already they have taken the name square number. So whatever you will write here, that will automatically appear as the file name. Let me save the files first. So now I have saved. File name and the function name is now same. What is my input? This is my input. So if I want to get the square of any number, simply I have to call this, suppose capital A not small a is equal to this. This is the name of the functions and the first bracket 2. So what is the answer should be? Answer should be 2 square. So 4. Simply it will give me 4. Because I have a functions for input, whatever the input I will give, that will give me the output. Similar way I can get 25. The square number of 25, square of 25 is 625. Simply in that way you can have some input output. So it is not always restricted that you will have only one input and only one output. This is your choice. This is based on your needs actually. How much input you have to give and how much output you want to get. Because I have some another example also. This is one example of function m files when you are having input only one and output only one. So let us go for the next slide. Here you see this is the one kind of another functions where 2 inputs and 3 outputs. You see here 2 inputs and 3 outputs. What are the outputs? If you give me any 2 points or any 2 digits A and B as an input, these functions will calculate what is A plus B, that is the sum value. Then it will do A minus B, that is the difference subtractions value. and they will do multiplications as A star B by product. So this sum value, difference value, and this product value. These are my output. So if you give me any two value inputs, they simply will do addition, subtractions, and multiplications. Okay, and this display comment, this will display the results. Okay, let us do this one. So this is my first line. I want to erase this. This is my first line. Always there will be one edge, right? And then I want to write something in the here. So I want to make clear of this comment. And then what is my sum? Sum is equal to A plus B. This is my first line. And then what is the second line? It was this two, right? So here I have, I don't want to make the comment because you see percentage if you use that will not read by Matlab. So simply I just want to remove this one because it is understood here. So I have now introduced three output, but I want to display the results also. So that's why I want to make some display comments. So this is my display comments that I'm copying from here and simply I'm pasting here. So this number is coming. I'll delete this number. So this, if I now first of all, you see here why it is YOLO, because the previous file name was square number, but now my new file name is my function MIAQN. As I told you, functions name should be always identical with the function name. File name should be identical with the function name. So here I have to change, I have to rename this one. So here you will get the options. Not here, you will get the here. If I go here and you can see rename options, that I am changing my fun. Now you can see yellow color has gone. So now it is completely okay. So this if I call now my fun, that is my function name, and that I want to call by two input I have to give, right? Because I know my function containing two inputs. So it will give you 2, 3. If I give these two inputs, you can see what is the sum of these two numbers? 5. What is the difference of these numbers? -1, and product it is 6. Okay. Similarly, if I assign something, then I will not get this answer. B is equal to my fun. Now let me change 2, 25, two number. Simply what they are giving, sum is 27, difference is -23, and product is 50. So only this answer is getting the better to take this like that. Third bracket, because output is coming in that way, na? A, comma, B, comma, C. Because you can see here is the output. So you should get the output like that. Now if I do, you see what is my A, what is my B, what is my C. A is the sum, B is the difference, and C is the product of two digits. A is equal to 25 is equal to B. So in that way, if you have this kind of functions, you just change the input, Matlab automatically will conduct all these calculations and simply they will give you the output. So in that way, you can use the functions.
I have a question.
Yes, please.
Why you write num to str and then the function input output name input name?
Yes, I have a slide because before that I have to show you what is the different type of data. There will come and then I will have the last slide where I will discuss what is the meaning of this num to str. Okay. So these are my only last two slides. Let me discuss these things. Okay. So I think this part is completed. Now, what is the way to get the display? This here you can see I am writing many things actually that I am going to discuss now how to get the display comment. Okay. So here, different data types in Matlab. So if you put any input in the Matlab, it can be any kind of data. This is the data, and what is the type or available in the data in the Matlab? It can be number. Suppose you are giving simply x equal to 10. That is a number. That will be called as data type number. Suppose you are giving the input y is equal to 3.14. This is a floating point number, so it is a decimal type. Okay. Similarly, if you give the complex representations, real plus imaginary part, that is called the complex data type. Now, sometimes if you want to give some sentence in the MATLAB, in that case that is called the character, CHAR, character array. So this was the old text representation in MATLAB. If you write anything within a single quotations. Now in the modern MATLAB from 2016b, whatever we use in nowadays, if you give something in double quotations, that will be treated as string. That is, this string is the name of the data type. You are giving a data which is hello. It has a type. That type is known as the string. If you give it in a double quotations. Double quotations, if you give anything in a sentence, that will be considered as string. This is called data type. And logical also, that I am not going to discuss. I am not using this one here. So only up to string I am using. So string and this character are like similar. It will consider a sentence in the MATLAB, but this character was previously when before 2016, and after 2016, if you use it double quotations, that will be string. But both the works done by these two character array or string array, both are same. Okay, and I think these three are very well known: number, decimal number, and complex numbers. These are the same definition that example I have given. Here you can see double quotations. If you apply, that will be called a string object. Single quotation will be character. So this is only applicable when you are having some statement, not the number. Some English sentence you want to put in the MATLAB as a input data, or you want to display that as a result. So in that case, you have to use this. Okay, now coming to the input, how to give input to the MATLAB and how to get the display in the MATLAB. So this is very important topic. Input means if you want to give some data to the MATLAB. As I told, data can be many things. It can be number, digits, complex number, or string, or character. Okay, so here if you want to give any input to the MATLAB, simply that input I want to store in a new variable name, that is A. So this A stands for the name of the variable where that input will be stored. Simply that is equal to, you write input and then start the bracket, parenthesis. Okay, and in the parenthesis you just write with the quotations, enter a number. So this is a character. You can see I have used these things with a quotation, single quotations. So this line will be displaying over you whenever this code will be run. Okay, input and display, DISP. This will display which you want to display. If suppose you want to show something in the MATLAB comment, that display option, this comment DISP, and then again first bracket. So input first bracket and display first bracket. Then you are writing something in the quotation, single quotation, that is the characteristic data. You enter, this will be now after this something you will show. What is this num2str? A. What is A? A already stored a number. It was a number actually. When it was entered, you will give some number now. When you will let me copy that and then show you what is the output should be there. So let me go to the script file, and here I can write both these lines. So if you run that, you will see. Before that, I want to clear this one. So now I have only two lines. First line is for the input line, second line is the display line. So if you run that code, simply what the first line is coming, enter a number. So this is a sentence. You want to, this sentence you want to write, because that's why I have used the quotation, single quotations. And you are giving some numbers here. Okay, what is the number? I am giving 2. So 2 is a number. So this 2 will be stored in A. You see here what is the value of A, already workspace has taken. A is equal to 27. But I am putting A is equal to 2. Now this new 2 value will be stored in A. So let us make a enter here. So I have, you can see A value has been now changed, because I told you script has a relations with workspace. Whatever you will do in script, automatically it will be associated with the workspace. So this A is now 2. But consequently, you are getting the second line is also executed. What is the second line? it is displaying the comment you entered. Same string also you can see here, but 2 you want to display. That 2, for that you are doing num2str. This num2str means string, because a was number, because already you have entered a number. If you want to display something, that number should be transformed to the string, because it is going over the display comment. So this is the syntax of the display comment. If you want to display some things in that format, you just simply change the formations, change the data type. So a was a number, that I am changing to the string. So number to str, num to str, and what is I am changing? This a I am changing, and then you entered colon. What is it now? Again a has been changed to string, and the value of a is 2. Okay, now suppose here you want to change something to write anything else here, that is simply here. First line I am not changing anything, so enter a number 35, and you enter that things which I have entered in the here, and it's coming the number 35. So this 35 is coming because of this, and whatever is in the quotations, that's simply writing here. Okay, in that way you can write the input and display. So similar way you can, here I have given the input as a number. So if you want to give the input as a number, don't have to do anything in the input. But here in this one you can see, let me copy this one. Yeah, so here you can see I want to here if I run the code, what is asking? Enter your name. Now name can't be a digit number, right? Name should be a sentence. So that is a string. So I am saying that my name here already I am giving this quotation S. This S stands for whatever you will give as input, that will be stored in Matlab as a string. So let me give my name, that is my name is Abhijit. So let me give my name, enter your name Abhijit. So what is the next line? Display hello name. So hello, they are saying it is hello, then my name, and then I am giving the colon. So this one, if you don't want to keep this thing, that is also okay. Cancel this one, simply it will take hello. So if you want to, that is your choice. Sometimes in Matlab, sometimes you want to display the number. Sometimes in Matlab you want to display the some string. String means sentence. So that depends on. So I have given both the examples here. The first example was the numeric input, and the example 2 about the string input. String input means some sentence, and the numeric input means some data number. Okay. This is the input and display in Matlab. So almost my time is over. So I will stop here. This is TikTok. It stands for the time, CPU time. If you want to know, suppose you have a huge code and you want to know how much time it has taken. So in that case, you can use that TikTok in the beginning, just tick, right? And the end of talk TOC, simply it will give you the time. Okay, that also you can practice. And all these things I have taken from this book, Introductions to Matlab for Engineering Students. The link is given here. Just simply click here. You will get the PDF of this book. Nicely describe all these things. Whatever I have mentioned in my talk, everything is mentioned in this book very nicely. Okay, and thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your wonderful session. Now I invite the audience. If you have any question or query, please feel free to ask. Any question, audience? Okay. Thank you, Dr. Das, for your time, and thank you all the participants for your attention. With this, I conclude the session 4, and our next session will start from 2:30 p.m. today.
Oh,
thank you, sir.